Hello all. So this is me, Amani Medini. This is my second session in DevMina, and this session would be about the power of storytelling in UX design. So, have you ever been captivated by a story, a tale that is so gripping that it transports you to another world? So today in this talk, I'm going to be delving into the enchanting realm of storytelling techniques and its seamless integration with the design and specifically UX design. So, you know that in the world of design, every element tells a story. And from the colors we choose to the user interface we create, each decision contributes to a narrative. Today, we'll explore exactly how this powerful synergy between storytelling and design can redefine our digital and physical experiences as well. So, moving on to the next slide, we'll be exploring six key aspects. So, we're going to be starting by explaining what is a narrative. Then, we're going to be talking about the elements of storytelling. Then the emotional connection that storytelling creates. Then we move to incorporating storytelling into UX design, the elements of visual storytelling, and the benefits of visual storytelling. So, as I introduced myself, I'm Amani Medini. I'm basically a software test engineer at Capgemini Engineering. A Friends of Figma advocate and leader, community leader with Friends of Figma Tunis chapter and Women Take Maker ambassador and Google Developer Groups organizer. So, before we dive into these fascinating aspects of our storytelling and design techniques, let me share a bit about the storytelling thing. So, you know that storytelling is ancient and it's an innate part of our being. And here we can see the very first evidence of storytelling in prehistoric cave paintings from the first humans who wished to share, record, and understand their experiences. So, storytelling has always been part of a human being experience. Okay, now, as we said, let's start by explaining what is a narrative. So, a narrative is a structured account or story that conveys a series of events and experiences, and often with the purpose of entertaining, informing, or expressing a particular viewpoint. So, a narrative here tells a story with the purpose to entertain the reader or the listener. There are different types of storytelling. We can find picture books, we can find short stories, we can find novels, and as well traditional tales, or sometimes we call it shared through oral retelling. Because we all heard first these stories from our grandparents, parents, like our siblings, like old siblings, and so on. Oh, right. So, what is the elements of storytelling right now? So, first, you have to have a reason for your story. Then, there is the main character, which is the hero. Third, so there is a conflict that we need to start with to build the story. And there is a structure of the story, which happens always in the middle. And we have the creation of awareness out of the story. And finally, the virality. And now let's dive deeper and try to explain each part of it one by one. So, starting with reason for your story. Actually, there are three elements, or let me say, questions that needs to be asked. The first one is the why, and you have to be clear and understand the higher purpose of why you are doing what you are currently doing. The next one is the how, and the how is about the artistry of storytelling, which means the creative decisions that are made by the creator to effectively convey the narrative. And the last one, which is the what. And here, what you do or what your product or service that you are building or your brand stand for. And as Simon Sinek said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Moving on to the second element, which is the main character or what we call the hero. So there are two like important elements we need to focus on when talking about the main character. The first one, which is the user, and it's always considered as the hero. The user is here trying to get things done, and we have you, the person who's serving and assisting and trying to create the story or the product that the user needs. All right, so the conflict right now. You know that in an ideal world, you want to solve someone's problem or tackle a challenge. And a story by itself, it always have a conflict that needs to be solved. So, conflicts are where a lot of good stories start. And here, UX design is about resolving conflicts your user deals with. And third, you start with a good understanding of your user and user's pain points. Next, we have the structure, which we said that is the like that is what happened what happens in the core and what is really important and where the actually the adventures happens. Okay, so there are different ways of structuring stories, and one that has proved to be successful in is the three act. So simply, there are a start, a middle part, and an end. And this structure aligns nicely with a typical customer journey or life cycle. It can be used as an overreaching structure of an UX journey mapping, like recruitment, for example, like retention or what we call use of your product or service, and the recovery, which is the end of usage or review and recovery. So, Um, as we said, the structure have these elements. So we have the exposition, we have the inciting incidents, we have then the rise in action, the crisis, climax, denouement, and the end. And I can explain this more by the story of Shrek, for example. So we all know Shrek and it's a story. So I can say, once upon a time, a long time ago, a king and a queen had a beautiful daughter named Fiona. And this is the exposition. And then uh, Fiona was possessed by a terrible curse. By day, she's a lovely princess. By night, she's an ogre. And yeah, this is all about the exposition. We are still there. And then, I don't know, a witch or something has kidnapped Fiona um, and put it in a castle where there is a giant dinosaur in front of the castle or the tower. And this is the inciting incident. This is where the crisis, not the crisis, but the hard thing that happens that we need to solve. So, um, to rescue her now, A brave prince called Shrek had 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 to like rescue her. So there is a rise in action. Someone is going there to rescue the princess. What happens now is that to have this battle with the dinosaur or the ogre, and this is the crisis. After that, we have the climax. The climax is where the Shrek or the hero just got rid of the dinosaur, the denouement, we have Fiona being saved, and the end. They got married and they lived happily ever after. Yeah, this is actually what happens with every story. Next, what we have. So, we have creation of awareness. What happened here is that we created this kind of emotions within the listener. So, creating awareness in stories is about triggering emotional reactions like joy, surprise, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. You know, these characters, it's from Inside Out, which is a really beautiful film that I believe that you people need to watch. Okay, so next is the virality. You know, when there is a good story, there is always a virality about it. Why? Because good stories always get shared. And so, what if your users share their positive, let me say, experience, emotions dealing with your story, and what we call story here in UX design is a service. So, or your brand or your product. So here you have probably done a good job and you enable them to do so. Moving on. All of this uh, creates, as we mentioned, emotional connection that in the user being um, being focused on the story or what we call um, like getting into the story's elements. So let us discover the emotional connection that storytelling creates within the listener or the user of a product. So we have neurocoupling, we have mirroring, we have dopamine, and we have cortex activity as well. We're gonna dive deeper right now and explain them one by one. So starting by neurocoupling. So a story here activates parts in the brain that allows the listener to turn the story into their own ideas and their own experience. And thanks to this process that is called neurocoupling. So neurocoupling بالعربية تنشط أجزاء في الدماغ آم، و تسمح للمستمع أنه يحول القصة هذيك حسب أفكاره وتجاربه الخاصة بفضل العملية تسمى الاقتران العصبي which is neurocoupling. Next one which we mentioned is mirroring, and by mirroring here listeners will experience the similar brain activity but not only to each other but also to the speaker. And so let me explain in Arabic. اللي يستمع في القصة فما يحس بنشاط للدماغ مماثل مش فقط like we are like a group listening to a story, so we start like to interrupt and to feel like we live in the same activities maybe. Okay, so the speaker and the group of the listeners will be just uh, يحاولوا إنهم الدماغ متاعهم ينشط لبعض، يعني كأنهم هما يسمعوا في نفس القصة أو عاشوا نفس الأحداث أو أشياء هكا. Next one, which is dopamine, like the famous dopamine. And so, you know that the brain releases dopamine into the system when it experiences an emotionally charged event, making it easier to remember and with a greater accuracy. So الدماغ يطلق الدوبامين وقت اللي يواجه حدث مشحونا عاطفيا، وبالتالي يخليه يتفكر التفاصيل بدقة أكثر. So next one, which is cortex activity. And so, you know that when processing facts, two areas of the brain are activated, which are Brock's and Wernicke's area. So, a well told story can engage many additional areas, including the motor cortex, sensory cortex, and frontal cortex. Let's check this one. You can see like the different like activities that happen in the brain with the different elements that I've just mentioned. And here I think that we did a little bit of neuroscience that the storytelling can activate in the brain. You can check more of it. Actually, there are a lot of documents, and it's just like there are a lot of sites and articles talking about this matter, which I found really interesting to check. So your frontal cortex is in charge of an executive function such as thinking and problem solving. Sorry, and we have the sensory cortex that I mentioned is responsible for processing information that is picked up by your five senses. Okay, so and we have the motor cortex here. This one deals with your ability to move and interact physically. Okay, so now that we saw like the emotional bonds that we saw forged through storytelling are invaluable. But let's imagine that we can apply the same principle to shape how users interact with the products. And let's explore now how to incorporate storytelling into UX design. So we have different types of storytelling, starting by interactive storytelling. And when you said interactive storytelling, it is a form of digital entertainment. Um, and here the story's outcome. So it's like more like video games, and what like video games is a great example because it's one of the most prominent forms for interactive storytelling, and it offers a wide range of interactive experiences. So a benefit of interactive storytelling is like there are a lot of benefits. Actually, we can find increased engagement. Users like are more likely to be invested in a story they can influence. We have personalized experiences because each user creates a unique narrative based on their own choices, and we have we can like enhance creativity as well because authors can explore complex storytelling storylines with multiple outcomes. We have as well audio storytelling, and storytelling is like experiencing a golden age. Okay, so with the rise of podcasting and the increasing accessibility of audio content, more people here are consuming stories through their ears, right? We are at work, we put a podcast in order just to entertain ourselves and learn some stuff from a podcast. I don't know, we are driving home back. I don't know, whatever the activity you are doing, you can keep like a podcast. Like you can hear a podcast and learn a lot from it. So, and this one, yeah, exactly, it's as well like it creates a a lot of emotions, let me say, and there are a lot of benefits about audio storytelling. We can say, for example, unique qualities of audio storytelling: intimacy, like the human voice that we hear. It may create a direct connection with the listener, and with that, it fosters a sense of intimacy, imagination as well. So you know that audio storytelling relies on the listener's imagination more to visual one. So you can visualize the story the way you imagine it, okay? And this what creates a unique experience for each individual. We have multitasking as well. Audio content can be consumed, as I said, while doing other activities, and emotional impact. You know that the sounds can evoke strong emotions, and create a powerful atmosphere. And we have the most important type that we are focusing on it right now, which is visual storytelling. And by visual storytelling, we need to mention in the next point that we need to mention in the next point, visual storytelling. Okay, so as I said, now that we have explored types of storytelling, let's shift our focus to the building blocks of visual storytelling in design, and specifically in UX design. Okay, so one of the most important elements is composition and layout. And you know that the arrangement of visual elements within a design plays a crucial role in telling a story. Attention should be given to hierarchical, um, so it could be like hierarchy, and what stands out first. It could be balance or visual equilibrium, and framing, how the sense or object is captured. So let me explain this a little bit. What I mean is that يعني ترتيب العناصر في الديزاين، العناصر الفيجوال المرئية داخل التصميم يلعب دور حاسم جدا في سرد القصة، لأنه لازم ننتبهوا للتسلسل الهرمي. يعني what are the things that we need to focus on mostly. التوازن البصري as well، وكيفية التقاط المشهد أو الشيء، يعني تأطير العناصر. Okay. So by carefully actually placing objects or subjects in different areas of our frame, so designers can guide the viewer's eye through their intended narrative. So you always need to remember that composition is key. Next one, which is something I really like, which is color theory. And you know how powerful colors are, and different colors can evoke different emotions, and you know how colors are related to creating different emotions, and each color can give you by itself a story or indicate something. Like we can say green is more like related to wealth, money, and stuff like this. I don't know, like different colors, like yellow, for example, or some degree of orange is more related to joy. Yeah, and so on. So you know that really using different colors and knowing when to use such color and when to place it and with what elements and with what product can help set the tone and the mood of your story. Yeah, one other thing to mention, or one example to mention, is that warm colors like red and orange can convey passion and excitement, as I said before, while cool colors like blue and green can create a sense of calm and tranquility. Oh, and for that, designers should choose colors that align with the intended message or the intended emotion they want to convey. Next, we have symbols. Symbols is really as well a very important element. So like utilizing symbols effectively in your design adds depth and layers to storytelling, as it allows for multiple viewers' interpretations. So you don't have to empty your pocket to do this either. Now we find like several websites and design resources like FreePic, Figma community itself that offers like free icons, different projects, logos, and like imagery to help your project stands out. And we can mention as well visual hierarchy. So, establishing a clear visual hierarchy ensures viewers to understand which elements are more important than others at first glance. So, when I first open an app or check like a website or check a product, whatever it is, like the first thing I need to see is the most important stuff. Like so that's why it's really important to know how to use visual hierarchy in your design. And this one includes using size variation, color contrasts, or even placement on the page to guide viewers' attention appropriately within your design. Next, and I think this is the last one, which is typography. And like the choice of fonts, size, styles, and spacing contributes to the design's overall aesthetic, appeal, and readability. So it is essential to select a typography that complements the story being told. So, typography plays a vital role in visual storytelling as it helps you establish the narrative's voice and personality as well. Yeah. So, moving on right now to the benefits of visual storytelling. Starting with the first one, which is easy to understand. So here designers can use infographics, charts, and other design elements to break down complex concepts and make them easily understood. Um, yeah, because we can all remember or been through a situation where we struggle to read through like a long document uh, or comprehend some complex information being showed, and like visual storytelling simplifies the process by presenting information in a visual way, in visual formats. Otherwise it is known as data visualization. Next, which is the second like benefits we can mention, is engages and captivates audience. So visual storytelling can help or has its unique ability to grab attention and to hold it. So, by combining captivating visuals with an engaging narrative or story being told vocally, by combining or even combining graphic designs, um, this all can create an immersive experience that resonates with the viewers. The next benefit, which is enhancing brand recall. Like we have known for decades that the human brain is wired to remember more images better than words. And when a message is delivered through visual storytelling, it becomes far more memorable than just a text. So, through the show, don't tell techniques, and that's what visual storytelling stands for. Brands can leave a lasting impact on their target audience's memory, and this helps increase brand recall in the long run. All right, so thank you everyone. I hope this was beneficial for you, and I hope it was fluffy as well. Yes, I'm gonna see if anyone has a question. Okay, all right. I think we're good here. Thank you everyone for being here today, and let's hope for more like talks about UI UX with different topics. And feel free to contact me through email or through my social media accounts, Amani Medini on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer your questions if there is any. Thank you, everyone.